Hi everyone, to the bone. This is Darcy and welcome to my eye hood lifting beauty 2 challenge. And we are live and I'm so happy to come.
Hi everyone, to the bone. This is Darcy.
I am trying to look at here, make sure we don't have any technical difficulties because we are live. And on this video, I'm going to be showing some great tutorials live on how to lift your eye hoods combining different tools, and that is the purpose of this Beauty 2 challenge, so you can use the tools you have and see how they can work combining them as well. And the way this live works is I first talk a little bit about the products I've used, show my before and afters from the week before, and then we go into the tutorial, and at the end we go into the chat. So if you're joining in later, make sure you send your questions to the chat and hang out until the end so we can answer all your questions, or if you have the tools with you, we can actually beauty tool together. And again, we're live, so if you have any technical difficulties, please hang in there because I'm using a new camera. I'm trying to get a new computer so I can do more lives for you guys. So there's a lot of new equipment that I'm using, so things can go wrong, but so far it's been doing really well. So if anything goes wrong with audio or video, I'm always coming right back, so just hang in there. But hopefully everything will be okay. And I'm so happy to do these lives with you guys. I actually am working on getting a computer so I can do more lives for you guys, more consistent. And also make sure to answer below what days of the week and times work best for you. I did a poll on my channel, and I'm going to try to do as many lives as I can once I get more new computers. So hang in there, please come back and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification so you know when I'm going live, because so far I'm going live whenever I have my computer from my husband that I'm borrowing. But I will be getting a new computer soon and I'll be doing more lives. But so last week was a challenging week because again, I needed the computer. So I also had some things with my husband that he's also dealing with. So it was a little tricky to do the live last week. So I'm going to be showing the photos for week 3 results. But I have to be honest, I was not as consistent, but I still had some results because I've been doing every week microcurrent and combining those tools. And that's what I'm going to talk about it today too when I show the before and afters. Because even though I wasn't as consistent, I did use the tools as much as I could. I still had results because I am doing every week. So I am still doing every week. And I'm going to show now the results for week 3 by using Laduora Velve Pro, which is a microcurrent device that has other features that we talked about in the last video. If you need more information about this tool, I have a full video, as well as I talked about it last week. It's an amazing tool for travel, for a quick pick-me-up of microcurrent, so it's really handy to have. And I actually like having this and combining with other microcurrent devices as well, because it has a more gentle microcurrent than other devices, but it still gives you a lift, and you can do it all over the face, but I only use it on the eyes. And I also use, which I've been using every week, the NIRA Pro Laser, because I'm 45, will be 46, so I'm getting a lot more thinning of my skin, and this has really helped, and I'm going to show you actually starting to show some results now, because you do have to use all the tools that I'm talking about on this challenge for a long time to really see results. So the purpose of the challenge is to show different tools and how they combine together. But if you were to use these particular tools, you want to use it for a month, 3 months to really see the full spectrum results. But the purpose of this challenge is to show a variety of tools working together and many tutorials. So in case you don't have the Velve Pro, but you have a different tool, you can come back to this series and see which tool you have and then see the tutorial that applies for you, or see how these tools work together if you're interested on them. And then I also added, guys, the Oralift, which I'm also going to show in the before and after, what kind of results the Oralift combining with these tools give. Because again, I have a full video on the Oralift, which is a device created by a dentist that actually go in your mouth to help with anti-aging, helps with teeth grinding, and a lot of other things. I have a whole timeline on the Oralift when I used it consistently for about 2 to 3 months, but I have, the treatment is 4 months, so I have the whole results before and afters, and I'll put that in the description box below if you want more information. But this is the first time I'm combining the Oralift with other tools, and I'm very, very happy I'm doing this because I'm going to talk about on the before and after what kind of shifts I saw on my face this week by using the Oralift with these tools. But in case you're somebody younger, honestly, any of the tools will give you a lift. I'm combining them because I already have full reviews on each device with before and after, so you can see how they work by themselves. And the purpose of the series is to see how can they work together. So every week I'm bringing a new device so you can have different types of tutorials. So this is what I did last week. I'm going to show you the before and afters of last week. And this coming week, I'm going to be using for, the purpose of week 4, as we're entering week 4, the FOREO BEAR as my microcurrent. So for week 4, just so you know, I'm going to be using the FOREO BEAR, the Oralift, and the NIRA Laser. So on this video, I'm going to be showing the tutorials with these 3 devices that I'm going to be doing for week 4. So hang in there, will be a live tutorial showing all the techniques that you can achieve the best results for your eye hood lifting. So hang in there. Now I'm going to start with the results from week 3, which I find it impressive considering I was not as consistent. Because with the Laduora Velve Pro, again, is more gentle microcurrent, but it also combines LED lights, vibrations, warmth therapy, as well as microcurrent. So it is more gentle microcurrent than the FOREO BEAR, for example, but it still gives you good results, and you have to use it daily for the best results. But I did not use it daily. I probably use about 3 to 4 times, and I did include some of my face on some of the days because it is an amazing tool for all the face, but I focus mostly on my eye hoods, which is the purpose of this video, and using the Oralift as well as the NIRA Laser. So let's go and show you the results that I had from week 3, combining these tools. But you will see best results if you use them by themselves for 3 months. This is just to show you my progress as I started the series using different tools for my eye hoods. But I'm very impressed because I didn't really use that much, like consistent as I should have. But anyway, so I will go and zoom in on this before and afters because I find that, again, the results will be subtle because you really see results when you use longer term, at least 3 months, which I will continue this series because I want you to see what you can expect when you choose a tool and be able to notice the differences. And doing a before and after is very important. And I'm going to show you now with zooming in so you can see literally like the things I'm talking about that each tool is addressing. And that's why I'm enjoying this series, because it's really good to show you guys what you should look for when you take your before and afters. So first of all, as I look at my before and after, and I'll have more angles and more zoom in, so hang in there, it's that I just look more rested. And overall more rested, and my eyes do look more lifted. And I will zoom in for you guys because just seeing the photo that zoom out, you don't really see the difference as much, but when I zoom in you will see, so hang in there. But overall I just look more rested, and I have not been sleeping well. My husband is dealing with some health issues. My son's been sick all the time because he's a toddler going to school. He gets all the viruses, so it's been tough. So I'm actually pretty tired. Last night I slept really late, so I'm puffy, so it'll be great for the tutorial today too. But overall, I just feel like, as this is week 3's results of focusing on my hoods, I just look more rested. And that's what happens when you kind of work on your eye area. Overall, you look more rested, you look more awake. And I'm going to show you a larger version of it, and then I'm going to go into the close-ups. So again, this is week 3 results. And overall, I just look more rested. In my eyes, again, I'm focusing mostly on my eye area. Just want to remind you guys, I'm treating mostly my eye area, even though I did use the Velve Pro on my whole face a couple of times, and you can see my face is brighter. So it does help with brightness as well. But the eye area is my main focus, which I'm going to go into the close-ups now so you guys can see, and I'll talk about specifically results. So if you look at my right side, again, the results are subtle because I'm only week 3 and I'm 45. If you're younger, you might see more results quicker, and I haven't been as consistent, but I'm very impressed, and I'm going to go into details of what I'm talking about. If you look at the before, which is on your left, you can see my eyes just almost look like downturn, and the actual skin on my hoods look more saggy, and you can see less of my actual eyeball. And that's something to look, and I'm going to go into the close-ups in a minute, but I want to show you both eyes so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now from the left eye, the same thing. You can see that my eye is opening up more. I'm having more of this skin on top of my eye here that you can see there's like more of a fold, meaning the eyebrow and the eye is actually lifting, and the NIRA will be the one addressing the fold because, you know, if you are younger, you might not have the fold, but if you're older, as you're lifting your eye, you might end up with the skin that is thinning, and that's the purpose I'm using the NIRA. Now I'm going to go into detail close-ups to specify what I'm talking about. So let me show you here on my phone, because I do get a lot of comments. I don't see a difference. I know it's really hard to see sometimes when you just look on a tiny screen, but that's why I'm going to zoom in to talk about what I'm talking about. I mean, to specify what I'm talking about. One of the things I've noticed right now, this is the before. You guys can see that my eye hoods, it's heavy, and that's happened with age, and a lot of older people might even have more of a heavy hoods. And you can see that is heavy and falling over, and also a lot more saggy. And the actual eyeball, you can see I'm opening my eye as much as I can and at the same time, the same lighting. You cannot see more of my eyeball because my eye hoods and my eyes are kind of falling over. I mean, on the actual eyeball. And then it looks a little downturned as well. But if you look at the after, which the week 3, only 3 weeks that I've been using with different devices, but mostly microcurrent and laser. And I also added the Oralift this week. Now you can see that you can see more, the fold is opening up. This is what I'm talking about here. There's even more of a shadow because it's more heavy. Now I'm starting to see that heaviness opening up. And you can see more of my actual eyeball. And my eye look less downturned. Obviously, I still need more lift, but the skin is looking more tight, and that is because of the NIRA. The microcurrent helps to lift, and the NIRA laser is helping to tight up that skin. So if you see now, you can see what I'm talking about. You can see more of my actual eyeball. You can see my eye brow is more lifted, and the skin itself is more taut and you know, it's getting more of a firmer look. Let me look now at the other eye. So this again, the same thing. It's subtle, but that's why I'm zooming in so you can know what I'm talking about. The eye itself on the before photo looks more downturned, and I look exhausted, which I am on both photos, by the way. I am. And then when you zoom in, you can see the same thing I'm talking about. You see less of my eyeball. You see that it's almost like a square. Like there's no roundness to my eyelids, and my eye is downturned, and the eyebrow too, and the actual skin of my hoods is more saggy and crepey and just heavy. And that's why, you know, I'm doing this because I find that when I don't do microcurrent or anything, I tend, as with age, to just look tired all the time. And then on the after photo, you can see there's more of a roundness showing up. Again, it's only week 3, these results. I'm going to, as I progress, I'm going to be sharing with you guys so you can see which kind of results you can pay attention for the eye. So you can see, I can see again more of my eyes. Look at here. My eyeball is almost like halfway, and here you can almost see my whole eyeball. I mean, obviously you're not going to see my whole eyeball, but it's something to pay attention. See, it's almost like I'm sleepy, but I'm actually open my eyes as much as I can for that photo. And you can see how the heaviness of the hoods and the actual eye is making you not even see my full eyeball. And now my eyeball is more open. The same thing, the skin on the actual skin under my eyebrows are tighter and starting to look more lifted, and the eyebrows are looking more lifted. You can see here my eye is more downturned, my eye is getting more open, and my camera is really not forgiving. I'm not have any filters on it, so and you can definitely see the textures, and you can see with the zooms what I'm talking about. So I wanted to show you those things because a lot of times when you just see the before and after really quickly, you say, I don't see a difference. So I'm pointing out what the difference is. It's subtle, but it's there and it's impressive. And I'm going to continue showing the results so you can know also what to look for when you're doing this challenge for yourself. And I want to show you now the before and after again from the zoom out. And again, it looks subtle unless you zoom in and really see the nuances that you're going to be starting seeing more and more. Depending on your age, you might see even more results, you know, quicker. But as you get older, you know, you need to give it the time and use the tools. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the results that I found by adding the Oralift. And this is, again, subtle, but it's something that I've noticed from when I used the Oralift last time, that you put in your mouth. Is a device you put in your mouth, and not at the same time I'm doing the microcurrent, which I'll show the tutorial today as well. But you can see my face shape, and that's what I talk about with the Oralift. You start seeing my face looking more of a V shape. And I'll zoom in. See, my face I was talking about was getting wider, and just again, as you get older, the face get wider, everything just kind of droops up. As I started using the Oralift, and actually there is a research with the Oralift that even with 10 minutes of the first time you use it, you already have a shift on the face, especially since I've used it for 4 months. Not as consistently 4 months, which I talk about in my Oralift review, but I feel like my results kind of came back quicker a little bit because I've used it before. So it's kind of like my body got used to it, and I'm so impressed that my face is already getting the V shape again, which is not changing your face shape, it's just going back to what my face was. It doesn't change your face shape, but it kind of harmonizes your face and makes it not be, see how my face is almost like square, you know, like wider. And now it's starting to look more, again, I only use it for a week, every third day for 5 minutes morning and night. And if you want more information about the Oralift, I'll give that to you. But combining with the microcurrent, I feel like is actually giving a better result on overall the face as well. But I wanted to point that out because a lot of people ask, like, what is the difference with the Oralift? And I also want to point this out specifically now because on my Oralift photo last time, it doesn't really show my 11s. And again, I'm dealing with a lot of stress in my life. I'm developing again. I always get this back. It's like not an 11, I would say is a 1. But I want to show this now on this video because when I go back, when I use the Oralift consistently and microcurrent, I want to talk and show you how this will disappear. Because it doesn't show in all the photos, but especially this week since I had to go with my husband to the emergency room a lot, you know, when he was not feeling well. We're dealing with some things with him. I frown a lot, and you can see my 11 is more pronounced, which is a 1 right now because I feel like it's not a full 11 because I do go back to doing my tools, but whenever I stop, that thing goes back. So I want to show you because on my Oralift photo, from the 4 months, I took the photo with the app and you don't see as pronounced. But I want to show you here because when I used the Oralift last time, this was gone. So I'm hoping this will be gone, especially combining microcurrent with the Oralift. So yeah, so sorry it's taking so long on the before and afters, but I feel like it's important to show that because when you're doing something like this for yourself, you can also zoom in, pay attention to the areas that you have concern and see the progress because it again, using tools is not an instant thing. Microcurrent will give you an instant lift. And the photos I took, I did not do the microcurrent before, was usually at the same time before I did the treatment. So it shows the actual results that you can expect. But if you use it consistently, you're training your muscle with the microcurrent to stay up and the results will be cumulative, especially depending on the tool that you use. For example, the Velve Pro, which is the one I used the week before, you have to use daily because it's a more gentle microcurrent but combines other treatments. But other tools, you have to look at the instructions, obviously, and I will talk about different tools on the series, so pay attention to which tool I'm talking about and I'll go over. But I have reviews on all the tools I have reviewed on the series, so you can go back to the video if you want more info about each tool. But I do love the Velve Pro, especially for travel, and it's so convenient, and you can use all over the face, but I focus on my eye area. But I did use a couple of times on the rest of my face, and I felt like it helped to brighten up because of the LED and all the other features that it has. So definitely recommend. But this week, I'm going to be using one of my favorite microcurrent devices, and I get asked all the time, is this still your favorite microcurrent device? Yes, and I'll tell you why. I have stronger, more professional, I think you can say, like the MyoLift Mini, which I will have a video on the MyoLift Mini. I'm getting a lot of questions, which was one of the first ones I've used. about the MyoLift Mini. I'll have another video on the MyoLift Mini, so hang in there if you have more questions about that one. But because the MyoLift Mini, you have 2 probes, it looks more of what you get in an esthetician. It's a great device, but it requires some of a learning curve to get results. And that's why Bear is still my favorite, because with the Bear, literally, I can do it with my eyes closed, when I'm in bed, when I have 3 minutes to spare. And I haven't used the Bear in a long time, so I'm excited to get back using it to show you guys the week results. The Bear is not as strong as the MyoLift Mini, but the difference, and I talked about on my zip video, which is also part of this series, that microcurrent is not all equal. The Bear wavelength, waveform and strength is different than, for example, the Laduora Velve Pro, and different than the MyoLift Mini. So each microcurrent has different waveform, which gives different results to your skin, and most microcurrents are a waveform, which actually helps for lifting the muscle. The MyoLift Mini has a different one, which go back to the video, I don't want to confuse people, but that's the main difference that you need to think when you're choosing a microcurrent. What are your needs? So the Bear is something that is still my favorite because it has not just microcurrent, but also combines vibration with T-sonic pulsations that by itself will give you a lift and relax the muscle. And I find that these pulsations are stronger than the Velve Pro, but still amazing. So I definitely still recommend the Velve Pro. But the Bear has stronger vibrations and T-sonic pulsations, and combining the T-sonic pulsations with the type of waveform that the Bear have helps to really lift and relax the wrinkles. I find the Bear, even though it is specifically for lifting the muscle, does help with relaxing your wrinkles. And the Bear has had so many updates since I've done videos from the Bear, which I have a lot of videos on the Bear. I have a whole timeline on it because I've been using for a long time. And one thing I love about the Bear, again, why it's my favorite, is because the results are long-term. Like when you use it consistent for a long-term time, you have results that last compared to other devices, which I talked about it, that microcurrent you have to continue using because it's just like going to the gym. If you get fit and you look great and you stop going to the gym for months, you will go back to where it was before, and that is just, natural. But I find that with the Bear, when I use it consistently, I stop using at the time for 2 months and I still had my lift. And that's why it's my favorite, because I can tell you, if you use consistently when you're first using it, the results will last. Obviously, after 2 months, if I don't do anything, everything goes back, and that is gravity, that is part of aging. It is nothing wrong with it. But this will give you that lift that you need to look best at any age. Obviously, one thing I always talk about on my channel, nothing will make you look 25 again. But I find that tools will make you look the best age that you are at any age, and that's why I like about it. I like the actual time to spend with yourself, and also the results. I like the results, and this video is all about results, and that's why I'm creating this series, so you can pay attention to the results that you can have. And that's why I say the best device for you is the device that you're going to use. And that's why I find with the Bear, it is an easier device to use, especially if you're newbie to microcurrent. And even if you're a pro to microcurrent, I love combining the Bear with another tools like the MyoLift, which requires a little more of a learning curve. But then if you have the MyoLift and you have the Bear, you can combine them as well by using the Bear more often, the MyoLift less often. So again, everything goes according to your schedule and your needs. But if you just have the Bear, you will see results. And if you look at my Bear video, I have the video, the before and afters from only using the Bear. But on this video, I'm going to be combining the Bear with the NIRA, and I'm going to continue using the Oralift, which I talked about it before, will really help with my grinding that I'm having really bad, and also helps to shift the actual face structure to back what it was. But the Oralift will not lift your muscle per se. It does give you a lift, but the microcurrent will really give you the extra training of the lift, which is important with a tool, and that's why I'm excited to combine them together, because you can get a lift with the Oralift by itself. So if you got the Oralift, use it, you will get a lift. But combining them is really powerful, and I'm excited to show you which kind of results you can get by combining these tools. So now let's get to the tutorial, and if you're watching this as a playback, always make sure to look at the timestamps below. My lives are usually long because I cover a lot of things, but I always put the timestamps below so you can jump to the tutorial, jump to any part of the video. So now let's get to the tutorial part. And I'm going to start with the NIRA Laser Pro on my eyelids, and then go with the Bear, and then end with the Oralift. So to use the NIRA Pro, again, I have a whole video and I've been using every week, so you can watch previous videos as well if you want more info. But you have to make sure you use it on a clean, freshly washed face with no serums. I don't have anything on my face, I just wash my face. And actually, hold on. Oh, I can't remember if I actually put a moisturizer this morning. Anyway, let's do it. But I can't remember, guys. It's been a crazy morning so far. But you want to do on a freshly washed face with no serums or anything. So if it hurts, that means I have a serum. But we should find out, because that's one thing I mentioned. If you have the NIRA Laser and you put a serum or a cream before, you will feel a little pain. And just wash it off and do it again. But normally you don't really feel pain with the NIRA Laser. You may feel like a little bite, and I'm using on level 1. You can still get results on level 1, by the way. And let's do it. So hopefully, I don't remember if I use any serums today. So let's do it. Let me see. Make sure you have a flush to your skin. Again, on a freshly washed skin, no serums, and also make sure it's not wet. So go. Make sure you press this one. That noise is because I wasn't flushed to my face, and it has a lot of safety features, so the laser will not shoot unless you are flushed to your skin. So hold it. 1, 2, 3. I'm doing as a one on top of each other, all the way up, starting on this brow bone here. Yeah, I don't feel any pain, so I probably do not put any serum. I can't remember, guys. Oh my god, my memory is getting there. Because I've been up since 5 a.m., but... I had to get my son... Oh, yeah. My son ready for school. Oh, again, I'm not flushed, so make sure it's flushed. And you might have to move around. I have a mirror in front of me, so make sure you do it with a mirror. And then go to this side. I'm doing 3 passes up, but if depending on the hooding of your eyes, it may be less or more, you know. And if you have extremely hooded eyes, you can hold a little bit like this. On the first week, I had to hold it. Now I find that it's already more lifted, so I don't really need to hold, but it does help to hold it. So I'm just going right next to it and just going up. It's similar if you're putting mascara. Like for here, I don't have as much space, so I just go sometimes 1, and here you have to move it to really get to this corner, which is the corner that really needs help, because it's the corner that gets more of a crepey skin as I'm getting older. So that's it with the NIRA Laser. If you were using on the rest of your eyes, you can do it. I'm focusing on the eye hoods. So now let's use the FOREO Bear. And for this video, I'm using the FOREO Bear regular size, but you can also use the FOREO Bear Mini with the same movements. I do have a whole dedicated video talking about eye lift exercises with the FOREO Bear, so make sure you watch that, because I do show a demonstration with the Mini. But for the purpose of this challenge, I'm only going to use the Bear regular size, because honestly, and I tell you guys all the time, I love that I have the FOREO Bear Mini because the probes are smaller. It does fit better. But honestly, if you're in a budget and you don't really need to have both, this one is, I mean, let me just talk about really briefly about the differences. This is more specifically for smaller areas. So FOREO advises to use this for the eye area because it only goes to level 3. And it is more comfortable because it is smaller, so you can reach better areas. I do love having it, but I find that I use my regular size Bear more often because I'm lazy. A lot of times I don't know I still use the Mini once in a while, but I decided to do more tutorials for you guys with the bear, and I show you how to do it because sometimes I just do with this regular size. The probes are bigger, and I'll show you in this video, but you can still do it. And you can, especially if you're doing on the eye area and you're a beginner, I would suggest you can choose on level 3. But I do it on level 5 because I'm used to it. But don't start on level 5. And that is the reason the mini is until level 3, because depending on your level of microcurrent, it can make you look tired if you do too strong of a current. But for me, I find that it works fine. But that is my personal experience. I would suggest definitely start with level 3 if you are using the FOREO BEAR for the eye area. Because the mini is the one that they recommend for the eye area, but I just find that, especially if I do it on my face, it's just easier to just use the bigger size. But if you have both, I do have a whole tutorial with the mini with the same moves I'm going to show in this video. And I'll leave the video in the description box below so you can watch that. But for the purpose of this challenge, I'll be using the regular size bear just because it's just easier for me. And I just like it better. But that is my preference. So another thing I wanted to mention before I do the tutorial really quick is that I got a question about the bear app. I often use it without the app, guys, and all the videos you've seen were without the app because I actually got the bear when it first came out years ago. And the app at that time was not that great. It didn't have that many features, so I just like using without the app. And you can use with the app or without the app. But I want to show you guys just a couple of things with the new app updates, which I don't even know when it was done because I never used the app because I got a question for you guys. Now there's like a basic mode and a pro mode. I'll be using this tutorial on the basic mode, but I'm not going to be using the app. But I will for sure do a video showing the new app of FOREO because I get these questions a lot and I'm actually curious to use it to see how much better the app is today than it was when it first came out. Because when it first came out, they only had one tutorial, and that's why I actually created so many tutorials for you guys because I found the need that I needed more. And the tutorial on the app was very basic. I haven't really checked the app out, honestly. I'll probably do for a dedicated video, but for the purpose of this challenge, I'm just going to use it on manual, but it's on basic mode. I'm not doing the pro mode. Now there's a pro mode on it, which I will use it and let you know my thoughts about it, but I don't want to talk about it since I haven't really used it. But just if you're doing the challenge with me for this week, I'll be using the bear regular size on the basic mode, which is the mode that probably was the mode that I've always used. Now they created a pro mode, which is really cool because that means they're adding more features from the bear. So it's really cool. And I got a lot of questions from you guys, so I want to make sure I test them before I answer your questions. So I will do a dedicated video with the Bear app and new features, but I want to talk about it briefly that I'm going to be using this on the basic mode, and I'm going to be using on level 5, but you can use on level 3 if you're a beginner because that is best for the eye area. And I'm going to turn on, so watch out for a video dedicated on the Bear for the new features. So for turning on the Bear, you press this button here. And I have the T-sonic pulsations already on, and I have it on level 5. But if you want to lower the level, you can just, press, and it will lower the levels. But I like having the T-sonic pulsation on. You can choose to have them off by just pressing twice. So now if you are to use the Bear, you will not feel anything. And that I get the question a lot because microcurrent usually don't feel it, and Bear has an anti-shock feature, so you shouldn't feel it. But I like the T-sonic pulsations with the Bear, so if you have the Bear, definitely have it on. And right now, I have the T-sonic pulsations on the highest level. Now you can actually adjust the T-sonic pulsations. So it's the first time I'm using the Bear with the highest level, so we'll see how it feels. But to turn the T-sonic pulsations on, you double click on it. And now let me turn it off. So it's so loud. Let me drink some water because since I talk so much, my throat gets dry. Which is a tip for you guys as well. As I'm taking my water break, if you want the best results of microcurrent, make sure you hydrate inside and out. Meaning you can put a serum on it to actually have more conductivity, and I have a whole video talking about it. I'll leave that in the description box below. But it's very important to hydrate inside as well. And I have not been drinking enough water. So Ideally, you want to do half an hour before or even 10 minutes, but if you're stripped for time, during also helps. Especially if you're doing a live, because my throat gets so dry, you know. So yeah, so definitely hydrate. And another quick tip on microcurrent in general is to use it with a conductivity gel or a water-based serum, because microcurrent needs water to conduct. And what it means, conductivity means that you want the microcurrent to reach the muscle. And another tip to save on conductivity gel or serum is when it starts drying out, you can spray it with water to revive it, because you definitely do not want to tug when you do microcurrent. You want to make sure it's always wet, and that guarantees that you're going to have conductivity. And you don't need to buy specifically. I mean, I'm using the one from 7E Wellness. The Replenish one has a lot of great minerals on it. It's a great one if you want to invest on one. But honestly, you can use plain water. But make sure if you use plain water, use smart water or any water that has high content of minerals. Do not use tap water, because tap water has other things in it, and microcurrent, wherever you put on your skin, you're pushing it deeper. So pay attention to that. Sorry. Talking on the lives, I love it, but my throat gets so dry. So let's do that. I'm going to be using this conductivity gel from Even Skin, and has hyaluronic acid. You can use it different things, but I like this one. Is a new one. It's actually coming now. I think you can purchase this too. And I think it comes now with the Lumo, which I will test for another video. But I'm loving with microcurrent because it has great ingredients. And also, guys, you don't have to wash it off. I used to love the new face gel, and I talk about it on my channel all the time, but I think it got discontinued. I found so many great gels. Medicube has the best one if you're want to invest for ingredients, as well as the Medicube one, which I talk about, has amazing ingredients and it's pretty affordable. This one, you know, they sent to me. I really like it as well because it has great ingredients, but I don't know the price. I haven't checked because they sent before they released it. But the interesting thing about this one is that it dries completely. You don't feel any you don't have to wash it off. Again, I'm lazy. When time is of the essence, you want something you can wash it off. The Medicube, you can wash it off as well. But I'm going to be using this one since I'm putting it to the test. So far, I like it. So let's start. I put it all over my forehead because one of the things when you are doing a eye lift is to also include your forehead. Because when you lift your forehead, you are also lifting your eyebrows. So I'm going to start by lifting the forehead a little bit, doing these movements, and then I'll go into this eye, and then I'll go into the other eye. So I may actually, let me apply on both eyes already. And then I'll revive it with the water to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So that way you are saving on any gel or serums. And always make sure to do microcurrent with a very good slip. You never want to tug. And that guarantees that you're getting the current into the muscle. So spraying with water is also a good thing to do in general to make sure you're getting the current into the muscle. So I'm going to turn it on. It's going to be a little loud because of the vibrations, but let's see. And make sure to ask all your questions in the chat. We're going to go to the chat in a little bit, and I will address all your questions. So first, I'm just lifting the forehead. And with the Bear, I get questions a lot too about how long to use it. The treatment itself is 3 minutes, but you can do longer. I mean, it doesn't hurt. They recommend 3 minutes because that's, when the actual tool is going to turn off. But when you're specifically, especially if you're older, working just one area, you can do it longer. It's fine. And the Bear, you have to use it daily when you first start using it. And then after, a month or 2 or 3, depending on, again, each person, when you reach the results you want, you can kind of use it 2 to 3 times a week. But in the beginning, you have to use it daily, or at least 5 times a week for best results. So with the eye, the forehead lift, you can hold it at the end. And with the bear, you do feel, you know, the vibration, and you may feel some tingling on your scalp as well. That is normal. It's because of the microcurrent and also because of the T-sonic vibrations. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the forehead, and I'm going to show you the tutorial on this eye. The first move is going from here and right under the brow and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going from the side, slide in, lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide in, lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can kind of mix it up with a little bit of the eyebrow moves. And I'm going to show you the second movement. Yeah, it's been 3 minutes, but again, I'm going to do it again because I'm talking and also showing the movements. So turn it on again. And yeah, so you do this one. You can also lift like that. And I have a whole video showing the movements again. If you want to watch the video, I even show other movements, but I'm only going to be doing 3 movements for the challenge, which is the forehead movement that I showed you before, which you can also combine with lifting from underneath the brow as well. And this movement here, which is a rocking to the side, and hold and lift for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the third movement is having it vertical and then go to the corner, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on level 5, but I haven't done it in a long time. But if you are using even on level 3 and you start feeling a twitch or anything, that means it's too strong. So then you can lower. But as I mentioned, I highly suggest you start on level 3 for beginners or in general, because the eye area you want to have more gentle current. And if you're using with the mini, the highest level on the mini is level 3. So this one, you're just doing a lift, hook, hold, and then count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I miss using the bear. I just love the T-sonic pulsations are amazing. It just feels, and you can already see. Again, with microcurrent, you will have an instant lift, but to really train your muscle, you have to use consistently. But you already can feel, like I can feel my eye more open, and you can actually see the lift already showing on this eye. So now I'm going to do the other eye. Since I already applied the gel, I'm going to just, you can, spray it with water, and that revives the gel. And that is a tip for you guys to save on microcurrent gel, or if you're using with a water-based serum. And I will also do the forehead too. So now let's go here, press and hold, and on. So I'm going to start again with the forehead. So as you can see, the movements, I'm combining them. I'm doing forehead first, all over. And now I'm going to do the rocking in right underneath the brow and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Underneath the brow and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you put gel in this area too, since you're starting from the side. Because there's another thing too. Sometimes with microcurrent, if you touch an area that doesn't have gel, you may feel the current. It's not necessarily a zap. It's because the full-size bear has an anti-shock feature. So But if you do it, let's say, on the skin, you may feel a little something if there's not conductivity. But when I put the actual gel, I don't feel anything as far as microcurrent. But I do feel the T-sonic pulsations. But I will answer more questions at the end. So Michelle has a question about that. And I'll go over more in details at the end and just pick through the chat. But I will answer the questions at the chat at the end. So you're just going right underneath the brow and hold. And now you're going to do the slide at the end, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide, hook and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do a little bit more of the hook and lift again because I'm talking. But it really depends on the person. You know, if you want to do a little longer, I would say definitely don't do more than 10 minutes, like on each eye, because you don't want to overdo it as well. But the bear turns itself off after 3 minutes. So you can do about 2 on each eye, you know, 6 minutes on each eye if you'd like, or you can just do 3 minutes as well. For this tutorial, it's kind of almost like 6 minutes on each eye, I think, because I'm talking, I'm explaining. But if you watch the full tutorial that I have on my channel, I do it with you guys in real time, so that way you can time and see how long I did it if you want to follow that one. But the movements I'm going to be using are those, and then you can kind of combine and see which ones you like better, or if you want to stay longer in one area, you know, if a person has, you know, a little more of a hood in one of the, because the eyes are not exactly the same. So if one of your eyes is more hooded, you might want to spend more time there. So it's really a free form. But this, the purpose of this challenge is to show you the movements, and then you can do it at home and then see which one works best for your needs. But the bear, especially with the T-sonic pulsations, really help to depuff and open the eye, and I'm excited to be using it again for this challenge. And next week, I'll come and show my photos from using it for this week on the eye area. I love the hook and lift one. Is one of my favorites. I feel like it really packs a punch and open your eye. But this one is good too, which is, so I like to alternate sometimes and combine it. So I'm going to be doing this until it turns it off. Basically, that was it. Wow, I definitely feel a good lift and also help to depuff. So that's the tutorial with the bear. I'm going to be using those 3 movements. Again, just to recap, I'm going to do the forehead first. Then you do the slide and hold under the eyebrow, lifting. And then the hook, slide, hook, and lift. Make sure you're lifting and holding on the position that you want your eyebrow to go back to be. And lift and hold, hook, hold, and lift. And I have a whole tutorial in real time if you want to do with me. I show more movements on the eye lift tutorial, but for the challenge, I'm only going to use those 3. So if you want to see more movements for the eye area, watch my full tutorial on the bear eye lift. But those 3 moves should be enough for the challenge that we're doing. So that is it. And I don't have to wash the gel off because it is a living gel and has really good ingredients for hydration. So I'm just going to kind of spread to dry out. And I also love using a living gel with microcurrent, especially when you're using the NIRA laser, because you want to make sure you hydrate the area when you're using the NIRA laser, because it is a laser. It can be a little drying. And you can follow up now with your eyes, eye creams, or your regular skincare. And now let me talk briefly about the Oralift, and then I'm going to just show a demonstration, because the Oralift, you have to be inside your mouth from 5 to an hour. You can even start with 3 minutes. I started with 5 this time. So I'm just going to show briefly a demonstration on how to use it. And then, you know, you can watch the whole video for more tutorials on the Oralift and more explanation. But I'm just going to put it inside so you can see this is what I'm going to be doing for week 4. So you just put inside your mouth, you make an O-shaped face, and you just kind of relax your face and just, you can be on a computer, do all kinds of things, and you stay, usually you do, if you're doing 5 minutes, you do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, every third day. So if you start today, you count the next day 1, 2, and do on the third day. And it works, it's amazing. So we're just gonna put it briefly to show you, and then we're gonna talk a little more and go into the chat. And that's it. You put it on the bottom part of your, and I'm gonna do a fitting on the Oralift. I'm getting a lot of requests on that. Don't worry, I will do it. And you just, the purpose is make sure the top teeth don't touch this yoga blocks. That's the main purpose. And that's it. It's a very easy tool to use that gives you a lot of results besides anti-aging and really helps with teeth grinding. I just started using it and I'm already waking up with no headaches because I grind at night a lot. And I have really bad TMJ, so this has helped a lot, and that's one of the reasons I'm starting again, but I'm excited to combine it with microcurrent as well. So I'm going to, so this is just a quick recap, and I'm going to go into the chat. So next week, which I'm starting now, week 4, next week I'm going to show you my results from week 4, which I'm going to be using FOREO BEAR with the Oralift and the NIRA Laser. So if you want to do this challenge with me, start your combining your tools and come back next week so you can see my before and afters, and we can talk some more and answer your questions on the lives. And as I progress this year, I'm going to be doing more lives, so make sure you ask any questions you have. I can also answer on the lives, on the comments, or on the chat. So I'm going to go into the chat a little bit, and I'm going to also try to do lives on the weekends because I know a lot of more people are available on the weekends. So hang in there, guys. I love doing this live with you guys, so I'll be doing a lot more lives. But if you're watching this as a replay, thank you so much for being here. Now I'm going to go into the lives and come back next week to see my results. So let's go into the chat now. Oh, so Inga8 sent me a heart. Thank you so much, Inga. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And Michelle Ramos asked a question. I use the Bear and sometimes I feel the zap. Michelle, if you're here, could you tell me which of the Bears are you using? Are you using the mini or the regular size? If you're still here and you can answer the question, that would be very helpful. Because sometimes I get asked about the zap because I don't feel the zap. Honestly, I don't feel with any of them. But I found that some people are having more zaps with the mini. So I don't know. I will ask FOREO about that, but you should not feel a zap. The feeling you should feel with the Bear. If Michelle's still here, if you can answer like which one are you using, the full size or the mini? And I'll continue talking until she answers. But basically, you shouldn't feel a zap per se, but if you do, make sure it's very important to have the skin wet and hydrated. Oh, the regular size? Really? Interesting. So she said, Michelle's saying she has the regular size Bear. That is very interesting because I've also heard a lot of people says that they have that with the mini. And I honestly don't have at all with any of them, but I got them, the Bear when it first came out, and then I got the mini later, but I haven't experienced that. So things I would suggest for you to try, make sure, oh, and never on the same area. Interesting. Let me ask you a couple questions, Michelle. Do you have braces or any dental work? And make sure to answer on the side, and I'll put your questions on the screen. And it's only sometimes and never in the same area. That is interesting because I've been getting that question a lot. I don't personally feel that, but when I use microcurrent, I do. Very important things is I usually put a serum underneath, but even if I don't use a serum underneath, I always make sure I use a conductive gel, and I find that really helps to not feel, because sometimes the zap can mean the current is bouncing off your skin, meaning it's not getting to the muscle. Michelle, do you use it with a conductive gel or a serum? If you can answer that, that'll be great. Because I would love to know that, because again, I highly suggest using microcurrent with a conductive gel because it really helps to push the right ingredients in and the conductive gel takes longer to dry, so you're less likely to feel the current bouncing off. Because sometimes if it zaps, that means the current is either bouncing off, or certain devices do zap, like the new phase, but the FOREO BEAR has an anti-zap feature, so you shouldn't feel a zap. So that's why I'm asking you those questions, to be able to troubleshoot for you. Because one, my question to you, Michelle, is do you use a conductive gel or a serum? Because there's a little difference from those things. Because if you use a conductive gel, you're less likely because it's going to be wet for longer. And even if you use a conductive gel, another way to prevent any zapping or any sensitivity or feeling the current, because you should never feel microcurrent, is to spray it with water as well. So that is actually, really important. I use it with aloe vera gel or a V in thermal water, but also happen with the conductive gel. That is interesting. And did you answer if you have, let me put your, so I can continue answer your question. I use it with aloe vera gel and use a V in thermal water, but it also happened with the conductive gel. That is really interesting. I've never felt that. Can you explain if the zap, how does it feel? Do you feel like it is the actual, like a current that it feels like it hurts? Or do you feel like the actual, maybe this, oh, actually, question. Does the zap happens when you have an acne? Like an acne in any area of your face? Because that can be also, sometimes when acne is there, microcurrent can kind of make the acne. It's ideally not to put on top of the acne, but or if you have a zit about to come up, you may feel something on that area. The bear doesn't treat acne per se. The waveform and the current of the bear doesn't treat acne, but if you go over an acne or an acne that's about to come, you will feel something there because of the microcurrent. But if you're still around, Michelle, I'd love if you can answer, do you feel like it is going over an acne, or if you can tell me specifically the area that you feel the zap? It's just in general, I can try to, again, troubleshoot. Because I've been using the bear for many, many years, and I've been getting this question a lot lately. And one thing I can think of is conductivity. But if you are using a conductivity gel and you're spraying with water, I could think that could be maybe an acne that is happening, and when you're going over is creating the sensitivity. Or if you have braces or dental work, is something I also get asked a lot, and I'll mention now in this video, is sometimes when you have dental work or braces, you may feel something in the area because, again, the current will go there. So a way to prevent that is to either put your tongue in there or a piece of cotton. But I'm asking Michelle if you can answer a specific area that it happened. The feeling I get is a shock. Oh, that is interesting. No, I don't have acne, and the feeling. Yeah, I have never experienced that, but I'll ask FOREO about, because I've been getting that question a lot. Again, if you are using with a conductive gel and spraying with water, and when I mean acne or a cut or anything, because sometimes if there's any redness on the actual area or an acne, you will feel something. And that is with any device, not just microcurrent. Because sometimes I have acne that doesn't come out, but it's just under the skin. And I feel more sensitive on the area when I use any tool, not just microcurrent. But yeah, it's happened by my eye, and another time by... You know what I'm thinking right now? Michelle, let me put her answer here in case people are experiencing the same thing. So she said, it happened by my eye, and another time my nose and left cheek. You know what I'm thinking? It could be that the current, did you try when that happened, try lowering the current a little bit? Because that could also be sometimes certain areas, especially on the corner of the nose, the current kind of like can bounce off. But also if you feel in the eye area, it could be that is actually too high. So when you do that, try it and then let me know. Let me know next time if it helped. If you're feeling any sort of, it could be, as again, a zap can mean different things. Again, it's hard to know if I'm not there. But also when I mentioned I was doing the eye area, if you feel any twitching with microcurrent, definitely lower the current. But if you're feeling a zap, try lowering the current and see if that helps, because each part of our faces can react differently. So pay attention to that when it happens, if you lower the current, if that stops. Because microcurrent, sometimes having on the highest level doesn't mean is the best. you have to kind of adapt your skin to that level. So if you start lower and you feel the zap and you lower and you don't feel it anymore, you're still gonna get results, but you can increase later after your skin adapts, because that could be too. There could be certain areas the current might be too strong, so try lowering and see if that helps, and come back and let me know, because I'm getting a lot of those questions and I personally have not experienced that. I've experienced that with the new face and other devices that I've tried, and it's very startling, but honestly I have not experienced with the Bear, and it does have an anti-shock feature, so I'll ask FOREO as well. Because they did change a lot of stuff on the app, and I'm going to start using it with the app and see if I experience that. So hang it tight. I would definitely test it out with the new app and see if there's anything related to the app update, because I have not updated my FOREO Bear since it came out. I always use without the app, so now I'm going to be using with the app to see if I experience that, and I'll get back and let you know. But so she says, let me see, no dental work. So let me go over other questions. Do you use it on the lips? Yes, you can use it on your lips, and I do have a tutorial on the lips on my first Bear tutorial, which I do the full face, but I can show you now, actually, you know, since we're here, if you have time, I can show you a tutorial on the lips as well. Let me just clean, I have a little bit of a lip balm. It's hardly there. Anyway, to do it on the lips, it's actually really good because you can help with the fine lines to relax a little bit. It also is plumping, especially because the Bear has the T-sonic pulsation. So you're working with the microcurrent as well as the T-sonic pulsation. So it can actually give you a little bit of a plumping effect, as well as helps prevent more fine lines. It doesn't completely eliminate them. It will relax them, but will help prevent as well as smooth them out. There are other tools that you can do if you have fine lines around your lips that you can combine with microcurrent for better results. But I'm going to show you really quick, Michelle, how to do it on the lips so you can try it at home. But I do have a tutorial on my channel as well. It's really easy. And it's interesting when I do it on the lips, guys. I'm going to have on level 5. You just go around because the lip muscle, and next time I will actually have, let me turn it off because I don't know if you guys can hear me when I have this on. I'm going to show you the movement, Michelle, and then I'll show a quick tutorial. But just want to mention, next time I do it live, I'll have the graph of the face muscles, which I do have in my other videos, so you can understand, because it's really important to also understand where the muscles are located when you do microcurrent, so you can kind of follow the muscle, lift in the right places, which is also really important. But the mouth muscle is a round muscle, just like the eye muscle. So you can go around it and helps relax. And also, if you, especially having the T-sonic pulsations, you can also hold in certain areas that you want more plumping, because it also brings a lot of circulation to the area from the microcurrent as well as the T-sonic pulsation. I don't do on the actual lip itself, I do on the lip border. So the movement is this. You just go around, and I go like a few times on one way, and then I switch the other way. And you can do for 3 minutes, or depending on how long you want to do it. And you can also hold on the Cupid's bow a little bit. And that would kind of help to plump it up because of the T-sonic pulsations as well as the microcurrent. So I'll show like a really brief tutorial for you. And let me just use this too, since I already put the gel. So let me do it really quick. So yeah, so I do it on one side. And you almost feel like a little crunchy when you're doing this. And it feels good because you're also relaxing. We pucker a lot during the day, and there's a lot of tension that can help you in the lips, especially as you get older. This is a really good one to relax the lip lines and prevent more from coming, since you are, especially as you're doing this, you can feel it's almost like little crunchies, which is the fascia, which I'll talk about in another video. But there's so many great things that you can do to get better results from microcurrent. And fascia, which is actually a little thin skin, not thin skin, a thin that is being between the muscle, and I think that's why I feel this crunchy, is releasing the fascia a little bit too. And when you work on the fascia, you actually work better microcurrent. I have a great friend from YouTube that's an esthetician, Jen from Aloha Beauty blog, Jen Aloha Beauty blog, and I put her video last live because she talks a lot about fascia release, and that really helps with microcurrent to get even better results, but it's more like a next level thing. But if you are interested in finding more about fascia, I'll put her video again on the description box below because she explains a lot better. And I've learned from her and Jane Mann, which is also a great source for fascia, and they're both estheticians. Oh yeah, so you can keep, sorry I'm talking too much, you can just hold it on the cupid's bow a little, just to get that extra plumpiness. But the movement is basically this one. Just go around and around. And you can do it until the current stops. And that's it. And that really, you really feel the relaxing this area and also releasing the fascia, which the FOREO BEAR is amazing because it has this T-sonic pulsation that helps to release the fascia, which is actually between the muscle and the skin. And when the fascia is relaxed, it also gives you a better lift and prevents those lines from forming and help to smooth them out. I should do more lip ones. I'm actually using a tool for the lips that I'm loving, and I'm going to have a full review showing my before and afters that has really helped with my lip lines. But this helps too. So definitely it's great. So you should definitely try, Michelle. Let me see your other questions. Yes, so we're talking about, I was answering her question about the zipping with the FOREO BEAR, which I have not experienced, but I will test it out now with the app to see if there's any new features or a new update or something new that happened, because I've been using this for a long time. So yeah, try lowering and then see if it still happens, and you come back next week and let me know, and I'll continue using too to see if I can replicate that. Yes, so funny, Michelle. You look so beautiful. I can see from your avatar, but definitely helps to plump those lips by bringing circulation. It's not gonna give you like a lip lip injection effect, just to be completely honest, but it will definitely help to plump up the actual circulation of the lip. And with regular use, you have more plumpiness, but it will not give you like, you know, an injectable effect. But I like it better than an injectable. I never done injectables, but I find it better to just have your own natural lips more plump, and also prevent lip lines and relax this area, because as I'm getting older, I'm getting more lip lines. So I'm finding that if I did that before, maybe I wouldn't have so much as you get older. And also that has to do with the fascia, because we get tension on this lip, and also from, you know, using straws or puckering. So yeah, I already feel it. Like you feel more of a like immediate results on it. But definitely try it on the lips. It's really cool that you can use it. Since you already have it, you might as well. Thanks for the lip tutorial. One more question. Does microcurrent interfere with Botox on forehead? Great question. So you're welcome, Michelle. Again, thanks for being here, and you're asking amazing questions. So thank you so much for all your questions. And I'm happy to show you a tutorial, and try to come back next week. And if you have more questions, or if you win any other things, you can always, you know, reach out. I love helping you guys. That's what I love about the lives, because we can actually talk to each other. And I try to answer as much questions on the comments, but sometimes I just like, I wish I can just show you. And that's what I love about the lives. And I'm going to be doing more lives for sure because of it. I love interacting with you guys. And you guys have amazing questions. Thank you so much. So does microcurrent interfere with Botox on forehead? Actually, the recommended thing is to, if you do Botox on the forehead, wait at least 4 weeks before you do microcurrent again, so the Botox don't migrate. But after 4 weeks, according to all the tools that I have, it should be okay to use microcurrent, and actually should help to make your Botox last longer. I don't have any Botox, so I cannot tell you from personal experience, but from what I read and from a lot of the tools, they tell you wait 4 weeks after you do your Botox to use microcurrent tool, because you don't want the Botox to migrate, and you don't want the Botox to go away too quickly. But if you use microcurrent and Botox after the 4 weeks, after you apply your injection, it should help to actually have the Botox last longer. At least that's what I've heard. I haven't personally used it, so I can't tell you, but it should help the Botox last longer, especially, and I read a lot about things like that from my research, the Botox freezes the muscle. So one thing that can happen with long-term use of the Botox is that stagnation of the muscle. So actually using a microcurrent device, even if you use Botox, is beneficial, because the muscle is stagnated, and with time that actually creates an atrophy of the muscle with long term. And you still, I mean, we don't really know the really long terms of effects of Botox. Like, we know some, but we will really find out maybe 100 years from now. But it does, since you paralyze the muscle, that muscle is not functioning how it should, which gives you a beautiful effect because a lot of people love, you know, the not having wrinkles, but also help makes the muscle not stagnate. The actual word is stagnation. So using microcurrent will help with that stagnation because you are still giving a lift with the muscle and the muscle is being stimulated. So it does help to, you know, for the long term, if people are using Botox for the long term with that stagnation. And also if you use it 4 weeks after you do the injection, it should help keep up your results longer. But that's what I've read about it. I haven't personally tried it. But if you have personally did Botox with microcurrent, make sure to put on the description box below your experience because I can only speak from my research. I haven't personally tried it. But with consistent use, microcurrent will help you, give you nice, you know, relaxation of the wrinkles and a lift on your forehead, but it will not give you the same effect than Botox, obviously, but it definitely works well with Botox from what I read. And if you don't want to do Botox, actually works well too, to give you that lift and smoothness and without having to resort to injectable. So I love microcurrent. And if you are concerned with fine lines, the Bear, especially now I was reading with this new app update, is addressing more fine lines too. So I will put the Bear to the test again, go with the app, try it out, and come back and let you guys know what the difference I've seen with the Bear from first using when it first came out and now, which is awesome that they keep updating it and adding more features, adding more. Actually, let me see how many questions I have. I'll go really quickly because I was going to show you guys earlier, but since I was talking so much, I didn't want to spend so much time. But I'm going to show a little bit what they added on the app that I didn't know was there. Since I got you guys questions, then I was like, oh, I didn't even know they updated. But that's awesome that they're updating the app, adding more tutorials, which I haven't tried, and more settings, which I'll show really quickly the settings in case you guys are curious, because I am too. So let me see. Thank you so much for all the great info. I love your channel. Look forward to watching more lives and videos. Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. I love helping. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for all your questions. And I also, you know, gonna show briefly the FOREO BEAR app, because just to show you guys some of the settings that are new to me, which I have not used. So when I get questions about the new settings on the app, I'm not familiar with them because I use it without the app. And that's one of the things I love about the Bear. You can use without the app and just be fine. So I'm going to show it on the screen here. So this is the new updated app, which I have not used it. So it has great stuff because it shows you how to use it. It has information about the device, and also you can sync your device with it. It has new treatments, which I've not tried these treatments. There's a total facial knockout, and there's 2.5 minutes a tutorial, a cardio contour. I'm gonna try all of them and probably do a dedicated video on it, but I want to show you guys because I'm not familiar with this yet. And there's a gentle V-shape yoga, and all the treatments are very short, 2.5 minutes. And you can download the treatments into your phone and the settings. And this is also brand new to me. So I'm going to be digging deeply into this and have a full dedicated video. But I want to show you that I'm using on the mode basic, and I'm using the T-Sonic on level 5. But I have not used, I can read you here. The basic mode is for consistent and long-term use. It seems to be the mode that I've used before, is energizing, build collagen, repair, and elasting. The pro mode is a stronger mode, so gives you an extra kick and cranks the microcurrent when you want tighter and brighter skin. But these levels are quite strong, so be careful. So definitely for the eye area, if you are using with the app, use it on the basic mode, and you can change the vibrations here to lower the T-Sonic vibrations. It's too strong. I'm using a level 5 and it's fine. But I'm just showing what I'm using with this device, and you can save the settings. But I'm going to be updating my FOREO BEAR and be using with the app so I can experience any of the things that you guys have been talking about, because it could be the new app update, which is great that they're doing this, because especially when you buy a device that, you know, is pricey, you want to make sure that the company is updating, give you new features, and it's really cool. And that's why I love the devices that do that, because you want to definitely, you invest it on it. You want to have more features if possible. So that is really good value. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be testing those out, and I'll probably do a dedicated video on it. And next week, I'm going to come back, show you my results for using the FOREO BEAR with the NIRA Laser and the Oralift for another week. And if you're interested in any of these devices, I do have a coupon code, and I'll leave all that in the description box below to save you some money. And well, the Bear, sometimes they give me a coupon code, not all the time, so I'll always update on the description box below. But I have a coupon code for the NIRA and the Oralift, so if you want to save some money and also really help support my channel, make sure to comment below and check on the description box below for my affiliate links, and like this video if this was helpful for you. That would be really helpful for my channel as well. I love you guys so much. I hope you're healthy and safe, and I'll see you next time. Come back next week and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification, because I'm going to be doing a lot more lives that we can hang out and answer all your questions. I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful week. Bye. And make sure I don't have any more questions. Bye, Michelle, and everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.